Well, it's very much the same as the flight attendants, the casino workers' plight. I remember in the early 1980s, when I first became aware that flight attendants had a serious problem with secondhand smoke on aircraft. I was flying back from Geneva to Washington, and some TWA flight attendants happened to notice that I had material related to secondhand smoke, and just asked me, what do you know about this? And I said, well, I've just been over to Geneva and doing a consulting job for the World Health Organization on smoking on aircraft, and we're trying to get smoking off of aircraft. And the flight attendant said to me, it is just terrible for us here working on aircraft. We can't get away from the smoke. We're exposed, for hours on end. We have to work in the smoking section. We can't breathe. Our teeth are stained with nicotine. Our hair, our clothes stink. And this is really very much the same issue that we're seeing with the casino workers today. Airlines told them the same nonsense that the casino owners are telling the casino workers, that the ventilation systems are wonderful, they control the secondhand smoke, there's really nothing to worry about, and of course they were blowing smoke. We were told that the airline industry would go bankrupt once smoking was ended on aircraft. Never happened. It's more popular than ever. It was a lie. It was just something that they made up. They said the same thing about restaurants going smoke-free. The industry will go bankrupt. In California, the profits soared after they banned smoking in restaurants, the first state. Same thing with bars. There now are enough studies that have been done. We have studies in 94 casinos now in the United States, both tribal casinos and commercial casinos. And we know that the levels of air pollution in these casinos is high enough to threaten the health of both casino workers and casino patrons. The study which my colleagues and I at Stanford University did in tribal casinos and in commercial casinos showed that the levels of pollution in the typical casino in this country that allow smoking are high enough to increase the risk of acute heart attack for a casino patron in less than 2 hours, and to significantly increase it. On average, the average casino about 12%, and the worst casinos about 24%, within 2 hours of exposure to secondhand smoke in the casinos. And for the casino dealers, it's even worse. I estimate, on the basis of the measurements that we have made in these 94 casinos, only 3 of which were non-smoking, that in the smoking casinos in this country, and there are about 427,000 non-smoking casino workers that we estimate are exposed both in commercial and in tribal casinos, that there are above 340 deaths a year, 90% of them from heart disease and about 10% from lung cancer. Occupational asthma is extremely high in this group of workers, in casino workers. So there's another whole raft of respiratory disease that is going on now that is impacting on their health. The casino are constantly complaining about imaginary loss of profits if they go smoke-free, but there's a real loss in economic income for the casino workers who get sick, for the casino workers who have died, and for the casino workers who will get sick and die just because of exposure to secondhand smoke in the casinos. So it is a tremendous loss to the workforce just to protect what? The small percentage of 12 million smokers who go to casinos and the vast majority of 60 million people who go are non-smokers. So what is the point, really? In every other industry, in every other workplace, we have protections now against secondhand smoke, but casinos somehow magically seem to be exempt simply on the basis of this hand-waving argument that they are making with no real data. The way we measure secondhand smoke is we have these computerized monitors. They're very small, they're battery powered, and they're easily concealed. And you can go into a restaurant or a bar or a casino and deploy them without disturbing what was going on. And you measure the air pollution levels, and you can measure the air pollution level outdoors before you go in, you measure it inside, you measure it again when you come out, and then later on you keep a diary of where you were and what time it was, and you look at the data and you can see that when you were outside the levels are very low. When you're inside the casino they're very high. When you come back out they go right back down again. We have conducted enough now that we have a very good picture of what secondhand smoke looks like in casinos, and it is loaded, the air is loaded with carcinogens, and we were able to measure the carcinogens directly, and we're able to measure the impact of secondhand smoke on both casino patrons and on workers. And we can see the fact that they absorb the smoke in their body fluids, they absorb the carcinogens in their body fluids, and we can relate that to an increased risk of morbidity and mortality, or to sickness and death. The measurements that we have made, when they're put together, they form a very complete picture of air pollution in this industry. What it shows us is that the ventilation systems and the air cleaning systems that are in use in these casinos are simply unable to control secondhand smoke. One of the important findings in our extensive measurements of secondhand smoke in casinos has to do with the fact that 80% of the people who patronize casinos don't smoke, and that 80% of the workers don't smoke. So in other words, by allowing these casinos to be filled with smoke, which is so irritating for most non-smokers, you're really driving them away. And when they go there, they're going to spend less time in that atmosphere because it is bothering them, it is irritating. It does burn the eyes, it does cause shortness of breath, it does cause throat irritation, it causes headaches, dizziness, nausea. It's a big problem in terms of irritation and symptomatic effects. So there's really nothing beneficial about smoking in casinos at all. It's all hand-waving nonsense that we're hearing from the casino industry. It's just like the stuff that used to come out of the tobacco industry. And when they told us that, this was all in our heads. It's really all about air pollution. There is no reason to have this kind of air pollution in casinos. And once it's gone, I think casino industry profits will soar because people like to gamble, but they don't like smoke.